Hey everybody, CB3 here with another live update. It is Monday, February 3rd, and this is the monthly market update for January, February. January was a positive month for our three portfolios, but it wasn't easy, and February is definitely off to a rough start. We're going to talk about that, Trump's 2 weeks in office, and what looks ahead for the month of February. Stay with us. CB3 Live Update Monthly Edition begins now. It's always good when the month starts off on a positive note, especially January, because that tends to lead the rest of the year. So the S&P 500 in January was up 2.78%. CG was up 2.75, so about the same. And GI actually beat the S&P 500. Now, this is one of those times like last year where GI, which is the more conservative program, actually gets off to a better start, and it sustained that better start all the way till May 12th of last year. DS got whacked pretty bad because of some bad earnings reports in the Mag 7 stocks, but still finished up 1.88 for the month. That's where it is on the performance side. The drawdown for CG, 4.2. The drawdown for GI, just 1.9. The drawdown for DS, 6.4. That's to be expected in a more volatile program. So let's look at January overall. The large cap stocks did very well, outperforming the smaller cap stocks, 2.7%, roughly in line with the S&P 500. Small caps, 2.5%. International markets, even stronger, 4.4%. It'll be really interesting to see if that continues, though, based on what is happening tonight. I'm actually recording this episode on Sunday night and watching the overnight markets and trading the overnight markets while this is happening. Bonds had a pretty strong month. Alternative investments, so real estate, 1.7%. Commodities did okay at 2.8%. The labor market continued to be strong. We had a 3.9 year-over-year growth there, although consumer confidence dropped by 5.4%, reflecting weaker assessments of current business and labor market conditions. A lot of this could have to do with the proposed tariffs, which I will get to in just a few minutes. The Fed, of course, didn't do anything. They just said, hey, we're going to leave interest rates where they are. We just don't see a reason to change our policy right now. So that's where it was for the month of January. Pretty good month, good way to start the year, but it wasn't easy getting there, and here's why. It's said that you can measure an incoming president's success by the success of his first 100 days, but Donald Trump is going to be measured in his first 100 hours, where he withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord, froze federal hiring, had immigration orders like crazy, stopping the border on both the north and the south border, and then energy policies, basically drilling, rescinding all the Biden-era drilling regulations. And that is good from our perspective as investors because more energy production in America means more exports available. So in that first 100 hours, we saw an unbelievable amount of government transparency. And again, a lot of people didn't like what was happening, but he's doing what he said he would do. There will be legal challenges. There already have been. But the most prominent thing that has happened since Friday, which is just 2 days ago, is that Donald Trump made good on his threat to tariff Canada and Mexico 25% and China 10%. And the overseas markets opened up very, very weak. So we're going to see what happens tomorrow morning, but we're already anticipating that stops are going to be hit in probably all of our programs. Not a surprise. Donald Trump has said there's going to be some pain involved to get what we want, but we will get what we want from these two trade partners that have been taking advantage of us for decades. Now, this is what's happening to our friends, right? Canada, Mexico, Europe. Europe is next for tariffs. He hasn't even gotten around to Russia, Iran, and North Korea. But this kind of volatility is exactly what I expected, although candidly, it's even more exacerbated than I expected. And this just keeps us on our toes as your portfolio manager. We know there will be many opportunities coming up right here in the month of February. But for now, we just have to take it day by day to see what new announcements come out and what the reactions are from the world community on the effect of all these tariffs. My CB3 Live show on Thursday, February 13th, is going to be titled Mr. Wrecking Ball, and it would make sense that that has happened. Let me just go through a few of these changes. So the Trump administration reassigned 20 Justice Department officials within 9 days of being put into office. So what this means is they're still on the payroll, but they're out of their actual role. So again, he said that he's going to be trimming all the number of employees in the government, and it could be as much as 1 million people. He fired the head of the US Transportation Security Administration, which is the TSA. Those are the folks that watch over us at all the airports. And he's basically saying more is on the table. He fired the Coast Guard commandant over DIA security and other concerns. Now remember, he's the executive officer in the U.S., one of 3 branches, the Judiciary, Congress, and the executive office. But I think the speed at which he's doing this has stunned federal workers, and I do also think it's stunned many Americans. Now, what does this mean for us as investors? When people have confidence about their future, they tend to be more confident buying. Right now, nobody knows what the future is going to be. We still have earnings to guide us, and earnings have started pretty well. We have interest rates staying stable, and that helps us. But this is one of those times when the geopolitical news is just, pardon the pun, trumping all of that other solid data. And I don't expect that to change anytime soon. I'm a little reticent to say this is the most unbelievable thing so far because there have been so many unbelievable things in the first 13 days of Donald Trump's presidency, but this is close to it. Elon Musk and DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, has gained access to the Treasury payment system. That means that Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, has given Elon Musk access to key payments that the government makes: Social Security, tax refunds, government grants, federal workers' salaries, and contractor payments. This has been something that has been long overdue, an audit of these literally trillions of dollars of payments that are coming from your and my pocketbooks. So Elon Musk and his team, and by the way, they have moved into the 5th floor of the Treasury building and they installed cots, and he told the employees, you're not going home for weeks. This is going to be like when I took over Twitter. We're living and breathing and working here with no breaks until we have some stability. But what's happening right now is he is taking a look at all of the cash flows of America and will make recommendations, because obviously he has no elected power to go in and do anything, but he will report to Congress in February or March. You may know that President Trump's State of the Union speech has been moved from February to March, and I think this is one of those reasons, so they can both get a handle on just how much excess government waste there has been probably for decades. What this could mean for us as investors is a trimmer, leaner government, maybe as early as this summer. If we aren't making as many interest payments as we've made for decades, that means this country is more solvent, the deficit begins to come down, the debt even begins to be reduced, and it's just a healthier environment where we don't need to have interest rates as high as they are, and that helps American businesses. Remember that DOGE is on a 1.5-year timeline. By July 4th, 2026, which is the 250th birthday of the United States, DOGE will be dissolved, and whatever government waste has been achieved, that will be the end of it. We'll see if that's really what happens, but that's the way it's targeted to be right now. So for the month of February, watch for more of the same here as this government gets leaner and I hope meaner. These tariffs, while maybe causing some short-term inflationary pain here in America, will set the stage for equalizing the trade deficits with the imports with Canada and Mexico and China. Overall, if our government is more fiscally responsible and spending less of our tax money, that means, oh my gosh, would it be possible to actually have an income tax reduction in the years going ahead? Watch for this to happen in February. I'll be back tweeting with you on a daily basis. I'm doing my podcast twice a week. February 13th is the next CB3 Live. We will see you there for that. Thanks for listening to the January-February monthly edition of CB3 Live Update. We'll see you next time.